Okay, so today we'll take a look at how to make a solar camera. These are really low tech and really easy to make. They're basically a pinhole camera, but the exposure time is going to be a couple days or a couple months. This is a test shot I made the other day, and this bright white line in the middle is the path of the sun going by the camera. You've probably seen one of these figure eights on a globe before. This is called an analemma. These show how the position of the sun in the sky changes each day from a fixed point. So if you leave this out for 6 months, what you'll get is the sun's lowest position in the winter and the highest position in the summer. So film is too sensitive to capture this. What you want to use is photo paper, which is what you'd usually develop a photo onto. You can buy expired photo paper on eBay pretty cheap, or you could go to a camera store and buy a new box. But you want to keep this as cheap as possible. The results are really unpredictable, and you're never going to get a very high quality image. For the body of the camera, you want to use something small, something weatherproof. These old film canisters work pretty well. The first thing you want to do is cut a hole in one side, and we'll put our lens on top of that. It doesn't have to be exact or even, but keep it on the small side. Then cut off a piece of aluminum foil that's going to be big enough to cover the hole. Find some electrician tape or gaffer tape, something waterproof, something lightproof. And then we're going to tape the aluminum foil to the front. Then take a piece of your photo paper. It's probably better to do this in a dark room or with a safety light. And what you want to do now is cut the paper to size so it fits in the canister. So when you cut your paper, don't make it too much bigger than half the size of the container. The most important thing, though, is to make sure it's opposite of where your pinhole is going to be and that it's not blocking that pinhole in any way. And there you go. That's your really basic solar camera. Now you got to find a place to put it where it's secured and it's not going to move. I'm kind of doing a bad job on purpose here to illustrate my next point, which is if you take a little cylinder like this with electrical tape and aluminum foil and you tape it to a bridge or a lamppost, people might think it's a bomb, which actually happened in Virginia back in 2013 when people started making these. And if you lived in Boston in 2007...
Cable news viewers in this country were treated to hours of live coverage this afternoon as suspicious packages were discovered all over Boston.
But none contained explosives, and now we know why. They turned out to be this thing, outdoor lighted signs to promote a movie coming out in May based on an animated series on the Cartoon Network called Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
So if you're going to try this, try to put it on your own property or put it in your office window, someplace where it's not going to bother other people. And with that said, once you're happy with the position, once you set it up, you just take a pin and make a pinhole. So leave it out a day, leave it out a week, leave it out a month, or even a year. This one was left out for 1 day, and what you'll end up with is something that looks like this. Okay, so then this image will act as your negative. Take that and scan it into your computer, and your scan should end up looking something like this. You can use various editing software, but one of the easiest right now is MS Paint, and you just want to open it with Paint, because all we want to do right now is just invert the image. So go up to the top and select all. Put your cursor on the image and right click, and then pull it down and invert the color. And you should get something that looks like this. I'm experimenting with making a large one using an empty paint can. You can get these at Home Depot. I'm going to put this one out in a front window where it's safe from the rain and the wind and nobody's going to bother it. So this is a 6-month exposure I just pulled out of that window. I put this one up in December, and this is a really low quality printout. You can clean these up in Photoshop. I'm going to experiment with some newer paper and some other techniques to see if I can get a little bit more contrast here. Using some fine-grained watercolor paper, I'm going to make my own emulsion with this product here called Liquid Light. It's a little expensive, but it'll develop a photo on non-traditional surfaces. I also went out and bought a cheap make-your-own cardboard pinhole camera, but really all I wanted was this brass piece that already has a pinhole lens drilled into it. So that's about it. It's June 21st, so I'm going to leave at least one of these cameras in the window until December 21st for the winter solstice. And if you try any Solagraphy, tag us in the picture, and we'll try to feature it. Thanks again.